Halloya, Ariana.
Hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So, what attracted you to the character of Blaine?
When Aaron first wrote me a beautiful, touching letter that had me in tears upon reading because it was just full of such passion and conviction for this project that he had and complimentary of my work. And it was a beautiful letter that led us to then talking and meeting up. And the character of a preacher, small town, who believes that like this holy war is happening on revival day. That was pretty much good enough for me. I was like, we get to create this. Yeah, it's almost like Shakespeare. I get to speak in verse. There was an episode I get to sing a hymn to the congregation. I was like, this is going to be fun, terrifying, but fun. Just a very unique. I've been pretty damn blessed and grateful for creating some pretty iconic characters along the way of my career thus far. And I thought, this is going to be, I think, another nice one to put on the shelf here.
Yeah.
Unique,
Yes. Do you consider yourself to be a character actor?
definitely. Definitely. I mean, I'd say now more than ever, an actor is just an actor. The only difference is you work or you don't,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can have a leading man that's a character actor. I mean, think character actor. Character is just more because of his face. That this is just what I am. So I have no choice. But certainly, some actors have their thing they can do. And they can do that really well over and over and over in every project. And that's great. But that's never been my goal. My goal is to make different characters. So I guess henceforth a character actor.
Yes. Yeah. So, why do you think Blaine has this cult-like following? Because it goes beyond religion.
Well, he certainly like there's we can go through examples of people in power these days and of yesterdays um, that thrive on power, but are also followed. Like it because it is culty, but that's religion is kind of culty too. People really follow along, and again, there's examples all over the world in current day and other days. He says something that appeals to people. And he is saying, listen, these are the devil's children, and don't you want to save yourself and save your neighbor and save those you love and save our town? Well, how do we do that? We get rid of these people. It's pretty simple. You start spreading that around, and people start to believe it as much as he believes because he's a man of conviction and passion. And people, then you start to, I mean, it happens all the time, as we know in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
That's what happens with Blaine. And I think he also has a presence,
Mhm.
when he's standing there, he's a formidable presence, which was a big thing I wanted to see if we could get across in the camera. Someone who's just boom, he's just there. He's this larger than life, not in his theatrics, but just in his pure presence. Someone who's just, this large man who's, you know, people look at and go, yeah, okay.
Yes. But what we've seen so far is most of his followers or people who believe him are men. Is that something we should take note of?
This is a great point. Aaron and Luke, you gotta watch this, you cheeky little monkeys. Because I did want to have women. I wanted to make sure. And the followers, I didn't want it to be this thing of here's a man and here's a bunch of men following. Like, ugh. So there are the followers. I get Blaine. There's more followers. He gets, and there are women. Don't know if there's as many as we wanted, and I think that's simply because the logistics of it. But that is a big thing for Blaine as well as Steven playing Blaine. is wanted the followers to be. It could be a woman, could be a man. Like I didn't want it to seem, if it's all men, it starts to seem like that type of thing, and no interest in that. And that's not where Blaine is going. It's not a boys' club. It's a human club. So certainly moving forward, I said when we had followers, I was like, make sure we have women. Make sure we have women. We got
Yeah,
women. So it's inclusive, and it's just, again, if there's not as many, it's not because it was just literally the logistics of shooting or having
yeah,
having enough people, you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Why does Blaine hate revivalists?
They're the devil's children. That's his That's his bottom line. These people that come up from the graves, that rise from the dead, that's the devil's work. And so there's just nothing that's going to change his mind with that, right? It's like, this is the devil's work, and I'm doing God's work. And that is to get rid of these evil entities known as revivers.
Yes. He talks to Sheriff Wayne Cypress about this, that like we have the same goal, and Wayne doesn't really believe it. But what is the goal that Blaine believes that they both have?
I mean, Sheriff Wayne doesn't like the revivers. They're not great for the town. So he wants to get rid of them too. He's just, there's also, I think, more of, uh, Blaine wants to eradicate them, wipe them out. Whereas Sheriff has maybe a little bit more of that. Oh, let's put them in a camp. Let's lock them up. Whereas, Blaine's like, no, they're not locking them up. I want to get rid of them. So that's, they have that fundamental difference between the two of them, certainly. And, they have a lot of history, family history. These are two families, the Wayne and the Abels. They've known each other since they grew up. And Sheriff Wayne was not so nice to my dad. So that's something that Blaine has always been sure to hold against him.
Yeah. But even thinking of history, putting someone in a cage and then getting rid of them, like that's not too different. Like, who really is in the moral high ground if we're
Yeah.
thinking about it?
Well, it's that whole Scarlet Letter thing, right? That's what appealed to me about this too. It's interesting. Like, what do we do with people that are different? Like, look what's going on here in Southern California. You
Yeah.
know, it's pretty crazy shit going on with people being picked up for what? For being different. That's it.
Yeah.
So there's all these sort of analogies, which I find interesting with the show and going forward. Where does this go? Is there a medium ground? Is there a place we can all meet at where you can be different and coexist? God forbid. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we all could just coexist?
Yeah. What do you think Blaine was doing before Revival Day? Because he was a tow truck driver, but in a sense, this kind of gave him more, even more so of a purpose and a goal, and kind of proved his beliefs right.
Yeah, I gave him a good, strong mission. I mean, again, being in a small town, um, small town survival, right? So he's a mechanic, he's doing this and that. He's got, like a junkyard thing where he's refurnishing engines and, sticking himself. And he's always had this radio show, right? He's always loved doing radio. And so these are all things that when Revival Day happens, it all kind of culminates for him into like, oh, here's my mission in life. And whenever we're given, since I was a child, I had acting. And when I first did it, it was like, okay, this is my life. And it's remained my life for better and for worse, for days when you don't want it. It's just that was my mission since I was a kid. And I feel with this, with Revival Day, Blaine gets that. And right, anytime in life you can feel like, I know so many people that just feel directionless or they don't know what they want to do. And I'm not, could be young, old, people that are wanting to change careers or whatever. Man, when you get that clarity of this is what I'm doing, that's just such a drive. And that's what happens with Blaine. He gets this and he's like, whoa, I'm on my way. This is where I'm going.
Yes. And with a person with a mission, it's a blessing and a curse because it's great for them, but for everyone else, it's kind of like, well, get out their way because this is it for them.
And side effects include, right?
Yes.
That's the problem. So side effects is not always the healthiest or the best, but that certainly for Blaine is his driving force, his North Star.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. This was great. I can't wait to talk to you about this again and future projects.
Sounds good. Lovely to meet
Awesome.
you. Enjoy your
Yeah.
day.
You too. Thank you. Bye.